Put all the trash talking aside. What's of greater interest is what Mayweather and McGregor truly believe. I was going to do a breakdown of the body language of both fighters during the press conferences. Then I noticed what was said was more profound than how they acted. It was more telling about their belief system, about their fighter's mind. In other words, how they really see the fight. It's quite telling. Keep watching and I'll explain what they really believe and what the reality is. Mayweather's belief system is apparent. If you watch the press conference and cut through the nonsense, what Mayweather was really saying is that boxing as a combat sport is more superior than MMA because there's no quit in boxing. You can't tap out, you can't submit, you have to fight until the referee or your corner stops the fight. Perhaps this is what he sees as the Achilles heel of MMA. Reading between the lines, this was his real message to McGregor. McGregor, on the other hand, sees boxing as a limited set of fighting skills that wouldn't cross over in a real fight. Hence his point that, if this was a real fight, you'd be dead already. In his mind, MMA is superior, because there's a wider options of attacking someone in a fight. You can punch, elbow, knee, kick, wrestle, choke, and so on. The question remains in a clash of style versus style, which fighting style is likely to come out ahead in a fight. Until then, we'll take a look at the sweet science behind the super fight to see who's right. So keep watching. Of course, there are many differences between MMA and boxing. It's obvious that there are technical differences, yet the physical requirements of each sport differs and shouldn't be underestimated. Basically, conditioning is going to be a factor in crossing over from MMA to boxing. Now, I'm not saying that McGregor won't be conditioned or fit enough to fight. What I'm pointing out is that there's subtle differences in conditioning for each combat style. The physical output in boxing over time is not necessarily greater than MMA, but more in line with an aerobic athlete. MMA, on the other hand, requires a combination of anaerobic and aerobic of fitness. MMA has physically more demanding aspects such as stuffing takedowns, fighting in the clinch, grappling, defending in the guard, or executing submissions. These are all examples of anaerobic elements of the game, which are missing in boxing. The point I'm making is that McGregor has spent an inordinate amount of time training anaerobic factors, conditioning his muscles in a way that won't necessarily serve him in a 12-round boxing match. Reconditioning his muscles and his mindset to match an aerobic demands of a task takes thousands of hours of training. It's like comparing sprinters to marathon runners. A 100-metre sprinter can't recondition his muscles in a short period to effectively run a 1500-metre race at a high level. It's a big adjustment at an elite level, and this will have an effect on your fight psychology. Mayweather's confidence has to be at an all-time high as he's fighting McGregor on boxing terms. The funny thing is this contradicts McGregor's belief system. Remember, McGregor appears to believe that boxing is a limited set of fighting tools, which makes him a superior fighter overall. Is this logical? Well, the speciality of striking with two fists shouldn't be underestimated. Boxers are experts of striking because of this very limitation. What it boils down to is there's a big difference in the areas used striking MMA compared to boxing. Without a doubt, this does have an effect on your skill level and your overall expertise in fighting. In MMA, strikes come from 8 general areas, not to mention the submission attacks. Areas of attack include the head, torso, legs and feet. Compare this to boxing, in which you can only use 2 hands to strike a smaller target area, being the torso or the head. A boxing skill set appears limited, but highly refined in comparison to MMA. A seasoned boxer such as Mayweather has with no doubt a higher technical level in striking the head and the body compared to McGregor. Boxers simply spend more time focusing on a refined area of the body. They are better at it. Another key issue is your fighting distance has an effect on the amount of punches that you can throw, and the impact on your overall experience of how you use these tools. MMA fighters typically maintain greater distance than boxers because they need to deal with kicks and takedown. This is likely one reason why some of the longer, loopier punches that tend to land in MMA are not typically effective or even detrimental in boxing. The greater distance created because of the threats of takedowns and the amount of time spent grappling decreases the number of overall strikes in comparison to boxing. So the rate in which strikes are thrown and landed is far different in MMA than in boxing. While McGregor has trained over the years to throw a particular number of strikes in preparation for an MMA fight, his punching output in a boxing match will be vastly different. Mayweather simply has thousands of hours of more striking content to his training. McGregor may be correct in thinking that MMA is a complete approach to fighting. It can't be compared better than a specialist form of fighting when simply using two fists. Basically, it's not specialised enough. Just to comment on the outcome of the fight, as both fighters are known as counterpunchers, we won't see a quick finish. Instead, it's likely to be a protracted cat and mouse battle drawn out to the end of the bout. For the reasons mentioned, it's unlikely that McGregor will stop Mayweather, but one thing for sure, Mayweather will hold on to his belief systems, that boxers don't quit. Thanks for watching.